Don is joining me today. We're going to be talking a lot about the tropics. We're going to be talking a lot about that thunderstorm chance for tonight. A lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on. A whole lot going on. And I was just checking my phone right up to the very end.
Yeah.
In terms of sites, looking at stuff, and that's why I was slumped down in the chair and posture.
So, I mean, we're going to start out with a satellite view from the GOES East satellite. So this is a view looking at those two storms that we have, really three still because Gabrielle's still out there. But impressive looking from space, from at least a satellite there. One storm has developed, one storm has not yet in that closer proximity.
Umberto is quite well formed, and I don't think we're totally out of the woods with it, but mostly totally out of the woods. It does look like it'll pass on out to sea. The one that you can see over Hispaniola and of course Puerto Rico right there in the center of your screen, that's very likely to become Imelda. And Jeff, I worked the noon today, and Jeff asked me shortly before we went on, you think we're going to get an update at 5 and it becomes Imelda?
Yeah.
As if we aren't going to be crazy busy enough already.
Yeah.
We've got thunderstorms into the area.
Yes, we do.
So we'll want to watch it real carefully.
So, I mean, the latest with Umberto, that storm, tropical storm, that's expected to become a hurricane, maybe major hurricane into the weekend.
120-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, so that's going to be getting stronger. So that's one, again, the one that's to the right. That's one that's more out to sea, and that should take a track that will be closer to Bermuda, or at least on that kind of out to sea curved shape.
Yeah, this one will likely be a little bit west of Bermuda.
Could be.
And it's likely, again, to be about 120 miles an hour, Category 3 storm as it passes well east of the Bahamas. And again, there's what could become Imelda in the next, well, really by 5 o'clock. We'll have to see.
Yeah, so I've been looking at the infrared satellite. It's kind of a good way to almost peel the curtain back a little bit at the storm and see where there's thunderstorm development. And you can see clearly with both, there is some activity. The one that would become Imelda is still not really moving much to the north. It's kind of just staying put in its same spot. It hasn't moved much here in the last 24 hours.
I don't see a circulation there.
No, I don't see that either. So that's what you need to start to form.
So maybe not 5 o'clock.
Could be the 11 o'clock update.
Yeah.
So
it's still stuck. It's still, you think of these as islands, but they're mountainous islands, and they could be breaking things up a little bit right now.
Mm-hmm. They could be. That could be part of the issue with that circulation trying to form. Here's a look at the long-range models. We're letting this load right now. So this looks at all the different ensemble members for both the Umberto, which is a tropical storm, and also for Imelda. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. That's my fault. I didn't mean to go to that. I meant to say go. I told it to say play, and it went to the next thing. Here we go. I'll just manually do it myself. So there have been some changes, and the red lines are the ones that we're more concerned about.
Yeah. That
there's a little tiny bit more consensus with it going closer to maybe South Carolina.
Yes, and really the two ones that we are most closely aligned to and can show you more are the GFS and the Euro, the American model and the Euro, and they both came into dramatically good agreement as of this morning.
Yes.
In terms of what it's going to do. However, it's only we watch things model run by model run by model run and look at the other models as well, and we start looking for consensus. And we also look for, is it continuing this consensus in time, out through time, in terms of the model runs. Each model run is basically punching it toward the South Carolina coastline. We've only had one model run where they're doing that.
Right.
So.
One thing that I wanted to ask you here, Don, and I don't know what kind of memory you have for this. How many times do you think you've seen where two storms form around the same time, this close to each other?
Not very often.
This is pretty rare.
Yeah, really quite rare.
Do you believe that could be an issue with why the models are so inconsistent each run to run?
Well, I would think so too, because of the first one developing and getting fairly strong, and that creates a lot of chaos.
Yes.
It creates a lot of chaos and literally in terms of the atmospheric chaos. So I'm not sure that they're really seeing, what the wind flow is, the predominant wind flow, because of that amount of chaos.
And this is the GFS model. This is now through Monday morning at 6 a.m. And it has a pretty healthy storm near South Carolina.
Yeah.
Which would be Imelda. So this thing would form, maybe it'll go backwards in time, right over the Bahamas, east of Florida, and then heading towards South Carolina, maybe making a landfall sometime Monday evening.
Yeah, and the thing about it, too, is that it's got Umberto much slower.
Yeah.
It's got it way far south of what the European forecast model does. By that point, I think the European has it to the northwest of Bermuda. So really Umberto goes first, and then in terms of latitude, in terms of how far north it is, Umberto going first, and then they both have it turning to the east and passing by Bermuda, but nonetheless, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, this is a little different. The GFS is finally picking up on two storms developing instead of just saying one.
Yeah.
Today, I don't know if I didn't look at the early morning model, but I know yesterday it didn't say that.
Yeah.
So today's the day. It's finally figured that out. That'll be correct.
Or if they did have two storms, it was taking the one storm to the north, Umberto,
Yeah.
And a small storm to the south, and slingshotting it around and making it dissipate.
Yep.
So it wasn't
Right.
absorbing it, really. It was just making it dissipate with all the shear.
So here's a look at the European model. So this is also looking at where we are right now. We'll advance a little bit so these things can get into view of the camera. The time on Sunday morning, we don't really see much happening with Imelda. That's still a cluster of storms, maybe some circulation. Could be a tropical depression or storm as it's over that area. Umberto, much stronger, but way behind.
Way behind. Okay, it's the Euro that's way behind now.
This is... and just so you know, this is the 0Z run. This is not the 12Z that's coming in right now. So we don't get that until
I saw the 06 run.
Yep, the 06. So that this one doesn't do the mid runs on the system. But there's the 0Z run with that storm impacting South Carolina, North Carolina with rain. And then that pushed it into our area with the rainfall.
With a band of heavy rainfall.
Yeah, very, very heavy rainfall. And then Umberto says, hey, wait a minute. Where are you going? And then it catches up and finally moves through and shoots that gap in between, and off it goes. Kind of getting ripped apart, too, from the leftovers of whatever Imelda did in the atmosphere.
Yeah, plus the easterlies.
Yep.
Or the westerlies, pardon me.
It kind of gets, you can see how it gets stretched out with the precipitation right there.
Yeah.
It's really getting ripped apart. So that's interesting how we have two different solutions. Both are still suggesting that general path or that zone where it could go to South Carolina.
Yes,
but I wouldn't lock that in.
No, I wouldn't lock that in either. As you look toward the bottom of the red areas, it's like go home, you're drunk, because it's got it looping all the way around and not going anywhere.
Yeah,
it just fizzles it out there.
Yeah, it's like we call it the spaghetti chart because it's like a spaghetti in a colander. I mean, it's chaos. Yeah, that's compared to Umberto, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
It gets a little squirrely there at the end.
Start shooting it to the northwest and then west. That there's a blocking high.
Up near Newfoundland?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's causing that.
And that's also basically what's causing it to move not move any farther northward either. So
we have a good way to compare both models. So in case you kind of want to see them both at the same time, we can look at this. So this is you put this together earlier, Don.
Yep.
This is GFS is the yellow, and Euro's the red.
Yep.
So we can see Umberto out to sea. Just basically, we're looking for the tight packed circles. That shows you where that area of circulation is, or isobars, lines of constant pressure. The more lines you have, the stronger the storm, typically, at least the stronger the wind. The GFS and Euro pretty much in lockstep for both storms. There's not too much disagreement. The Euro is lagging behind a bit, though.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
For Umberto, look at that. That's a big lag behind. But for the other storm, they're almost on top of each other on Monday afternoon for South Carolina.
And by Monday, that could mean heavy rain for our part of the world.
Yep.
So we need to watch it. And there could be bands of heavy rain, which includes some wind with it as well. So
we'll have to, and depending on how far north that landfall would be if it starts to sneak into spots near Wilmington. Then we could maybe see a tornado threat for parts of the area too.
Yeah, there could be. Once storms this time of year, once they get up to this latitude, they tend to send out a kind of an area of rain, a band of rain, but also they tend to shear the winds out that far. So, usually you think of a tropical system as having a tight core, and it still does. But in this kind of system, we could see the wind lifting far, far to the north. So it's over South Carolina at that point. We could start seeing some wind by the end of the day on Monday.
Yeah. I definitely think so. Even if we don't get the wind from that, let's say that storm doesn't really develop as strong as advertised, the other one, Umberto, could still generally create a northeasterly flow for our area.
Yeah.
So we should get some wind, and the wind will pick up into next week. And we had a lot of rain last week, 11 inches in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, and in Norfolk it was, 4 inches?
Yeah, maybe even 5 in some spots.
Yeah.
It was high, so I'm a little nervous about some of the trees. We did lose some trees from that storm with the ground being saturated. Now it's dried out a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we had enough time.
Yeah, I think we've had enough time, so things have settled down a bit.
Yeah, I had 2 trees in my yard that were dead that need to get cut down, and I thought maybe I could get a freebie and just have the wind push it down, but I don't think that's the way you want to save money. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here. We have more coming up because we're going to take another quick look at the tropics, look at some of your questions that we have on Facebook. I've been seeing those come in, and also we're going to talk about that storm risk for tonight. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. So we're looking at the latest on the view on Super Doppler 10 because we have a couple of thunderstorms that we could see develop into our area later on tonight. There's a couple of showers that have already popped up across the peninsula right now. Don, you were just looking at those. Seeing any lightning out of those?
No, not seeing any lightning. I was just checking reflectivity, the velocity on my phone here, and it doesn't look like there's any big wind with it either. I mean, just to look at it, it doesn't look like it would have huge wind with it either.
No, it looks like it's just kind of drifting in from the southwest actually.
And they're moving at a pretty good clip too.
They're moving fast.
Yeah, so we'll see how they do. But earlier, the forecast models predicted moving through very, very rapidly and then just falling apart over the bay and over the eastern shore. So we'll have to see whether that comes true or not.
There is a chance for some stronger storms that could develop into our area for tonight. There's that level 1 risk for most of the region, at least for the peninsulas and eastern shore. Wind threat primarily. I did see the Storm Prediction Center had a tornado threat farther north into Maryland and Baltimore, but not for us.
No.
Not for us. I don't think we had that kind of rotation. They did have this green area all the way through Hatteras the last 2 days. I'm happy they kind of backed off on it. I just don't see the storms making it down in North
and
Carolina.
it really hasn't made sense either for a while watching this.
So, I mean, this is just a few showers. This is earlier than I anticipated from when I looked last night. I didn't look at the latest this morning. So this is starting to kind of pop up a bit earlier, but like you were saying, maybe it moves out earlier too.
Yeah, but depends on whether we get a really solid line, a cohesive line, or is it going to be just these discrete little areas? Which model is that?
This is the new graph that's just updated.
Oh, the rapid update graph.
Yeah, and it now it backed off. The last run had it initialized pretty well. It had the rain where it was.
Yeah.
Now it's not showing as much.
And it's showing little discrete cells and not very strong.
No, not like the stuff that we see farther west.
And the stuff farther west, by the way, the earlier forecast model run of the graph does keep that alive. So it keeps it alive through around 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, let's extend this out.
Of us.
Here it is right here.
Yeah.
There it is. So, and I'm kind of wondering too, because we have the heat certainly today. It's 90 degrees. Last I checked the thermometer.
91 now.
91. Yeah. And then we have the humidity that's high. Even with the sunset happening before 7 o'clock, I wonder if these things are going to have enough energy to survive all that way to the east.
Yeah. This model has been fairly consistent in pushing these, having these survive. So it's one to watch. But once they do hit the coast, they do start falling apart pretty rapidly.
So back to a look quick, and we're going to take some more looks at Super Doppler 10 and radar in just a moment, but there's been a couple of questions that have been coming in about the next storm that could develop, about maybe the future of Imelda. So we saw the tracks and we saw the possibilities that it moves towards South Carolina. But the question that I'm getting here from Sean, any concern of redevelopment along the coast after a landfall in South Carolina, especially with that area of high pressure that would want to push it back into the ocean?
Well, and the models are pushing it back into the ocean, but they're pushing it back into the ocean as basically nothing. It's just nothing much that's out there. They do have it wandering around on land for a couple of days and then pushing it back out to sea over about Savannah, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so here it is Monday, making that landfall, and then staying over Atlanta by Tuesday. Umberto's in the way, so that has to clear out, and then that clears out, and then the storm tries to push back out over the ocean again.
Yeah, there it is. You can see the circulation. Well, it punches back up toward us by Saturday.
Yeah, look at that. And that's heavy rainfall.
Yeah. Now, the earlier models did take it eastward and out towards Savannah. That's what I was thinking of. But
I've seen some where it brought it. I think it was yesterday's run. It swung it all the way back, almost to Bermuda, and then it said, "Hold on a second, I forgot something," and it came right back into us. Yeah. And someone was asking me the chances, or what do I think of that? And I said, "This is entertainment. It's entertainment value is what we're looking at. Now, if it keeps happening and the models start locking it in, it's not a joke. But when you're talking this is not this Saturday. This is next Saturday.
Yeah."
You're 300 hours out.
Even next Wednesday and Thursday is a little too far away for it to be saying something minute like that would be happening.
Right.
That detailed. No.
But when I see something that, today is Thursday, and I see something the models say that's going to happen on Monday, I start to take a little stock into that.
Yeah. Especially if you got two models saying it, roughly the same thing.
Yep. So that's what we're kind of seeing right now with that. We're going to take another break here. We're going to come right back. We'll take a look at the, forecast for tonight. There are some storms that are possible, and also we'll look at that long-range forecast going into the weekend in just a little bit. Seeing a little bit of thunderstorm activity on Super Doppler 10 right now, Don. Looks like that one area that we were watching now has some lightning with it. So seeing these things strengthen a bit, but you mentioned you're looking at the velocity or the wind speeds with it. Not seeing a lot of wind out of it.
No, a little bit there, but not very, very much whatsoever.
Let's take a look. 28, that's not bad.
Yeah, a little tiny bit. But
That's a summer thunderstorm kind of gust.
Yeah, and they're moving along as well. Now, the interesting thing about it is if you slide to the southwest, there's a little bit of a convergence line that's forming there, and that line we'll see how strong that is and whether it will indeed continue, what that thing is going to do.
I believe it's probably going to stay on a corridor, and let me know what you think. Do you think it's going to stay on a corridor kind of in this sector here, anywhere north of that line? That's where most of the storms will be?
Yeah, it seems to be.
For this initial stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe later tonight it could push a little bit more south.
Yeah. It's not very impressive.
No, it's not very impressive. Let's take a look at just the visible satellite to see if there's any clues that's happening in the clouds. And I mean, look, they're pretty small.
Yeah, there's nothing real big there. When we get done here, we're going to swing the tower camera to the west and have a look at these.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, get a little time lapse going for tonight. So that's what we have for the rain right now. Again, as we look ahead to later tonight, there is a chance that we could see some more thunderstorms that pop up in our area. We'll load up Future Track here just so we can see what that looks like for later tonight. The area of rain now across the peninsula is what we're seeing initially. We'll see scattered showers, some rumbles of thunder. This graph model, this has it pushing more south even at 6:30 into North Carolina.
Yeah, but nothing impressive. Even
No,
there.
just a few showers.
Yeah.
Just a few showers.
Maybe a rumble of thunder. Now, the stuff to the west, yeah, that is thunder between Raleigh and Farmville and up toward Richmond by then.
Yep.
By midnight tonight. Somebody might be staying working late tonight.
Yeah. I don't know. Not me. No. I think it'll be me. We'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Now, we do see the model kind of flash away because we're going from the high-res model to the older run.
Okay.
So that's why we're seeing a little bit of a difference in the location of the rain there.
And the resolution.
Yep, and the resolution, just a slight tweak. So that's what we're seeing when that happens. So no need to be concerned about that. But it does have rain that pushes through the eastern shore, middle peninsula at 3 o'clock in the morning. We have a couple of showers in the Hampton Road cities tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Nothing heavy or serious at that point.
Might start the day with wet streets, and that's about it.
Yeah, not much. I still think there's a good chance for some afternoon thunderstorms to redevelop into North Carolina tomorrow.
This has got to mainly during the evening hours towards 7, 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Because I looked at this earlier, used this earlier. There we go.
Yep.
7, 8 o'clock, and those are pretty good size.
Yep. That's a good amount of rain. That's decent. So we could have a little bit of an action-packed evening tomorrow night. I don't see a severe risk for tomorrow, though, from Storm Prediction Center. They've been saying all clear so far for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just thunderstorms.
And it looks like it's going to be mostly cloudy for most of the day, too. So we're not going to see the heat like we did today or the uneven heat that we saw today where we saw, temperatures in the 90s and, of course, the cloud cover starting to move on in. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. So that's what we'll look ahead to for tomorrow. Some more rain. There are some concerns about the rain going into the weekend because there's a lot of events going on. Neptune Festival happening this weekend. There's an event I got an email about it going on in Suffolk. I can't remember which event it was. But we do have a chance to see some scattered showers develop during the day on Saturday. The morning doesn't look very wet. So that's good. I know there's I believe, 8K run happening at the oceanfront on Saturday morning for the Neptune Festival. That looks okay, but into the afternoon, I do see some rain pushing in from the south.
But it doesn't look thunderstormy.
No, it doesn't. Just showery.
Yeah.
Showers kind of passing through. That continues into the evening on Saturday and then into Sunday.
Big rain off to the west.
Yeah.
To the west of I-95 even.
Really cloudy, too. So that Saturday night, the rain is closer to I-95 than into Sunday. Still a couple of lingering showers. That's the last of this model that we have.
So it's nothing. I did the noon newscast today, noon weathercast.
Yeah.
And there was a chance of rain for almost every day up until maybe like Wednesday. I think I backed things off a bit, or Thursday of next week. I backed things off a little bit. But it doesn't look like a washout for any of those days, at least through the weekend. Now, it depends on what goes on with the tropical stuff coming up by Monday and Tuesday.
Yep. That'll be the big thing into next week because that could change the whole deal.
Yeah, that could give us some washout time.
Tomorrow doesn't look to be as hot. Looks like we'll see highs in the 70s and 80s across the eastern shore. That's kind of nice. Peninsula, middle peninsula. Temperatures tomorrow should be sitting in the low 80s, so a lot cooler than today.
A lot more pleasant. The air is not going to be any drier.
No.
The humidity should still be up, but the temperatures certainly a lot more pleasant. Low to mid 80s there for the south side.
I will gladly take this because it's pretty hot today.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a little hot. So this is interesting. This still has 87 in Elizabeth City and Hertford tomorrow. That's warm.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't change it.
I know it's.
Let me double check.
Which model is it? The
iCast.
graph? Oh, it's the iCast.
Yeah, and it does, and it's not, the data's not overridden. That's model data.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. I tend to think let's knock that down. We might override that. You know, with 85, 86.
We're gonna make our own model here soon.
Well, we can. Sometimes much of the time, we do override what the models are, for common sense reasons.
Yeah, we really do because the models are. They can give you good guidance, but and around this area, they can be way off sometimes, 5 to 10 degrees sometimes. We'll end on a view at looking at both storms here on Super Doppler 10. One quick question here. We have 50 seconds left. What are the odds of 94 of it coming up into South Carolina? That's kind of what we're seeing from our long-range models. We have 2 storms. So 94L is the one of the cluster of thunderstorms near Puerto Rico. Yeah. And that could be the zone that might form into something maybe later tonight or tomorrow morning. And that could be bringing some wind and rain into South Carolina.
By Monday.
Yeah.
And it could bring some rain here by Monday, too.
Yep. So that's what we have for today. Join us at 4 o'clock. Don will be on with the latest on that. I'll be on at 5.
Bye.
See you later.